Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome. Today is Thursday. It's December 15th, 2022. Where did the year go? My name is Jeremy. This is my first cup. Well, how are you? What's happening? Who's here? I want to say good morning to Liz and to Mark. It looks like Facebook is working today, but I don't see any of my Facebook people. I wonder if they I don't know. We had some problems yesterday in case you didn't watch yesterday's episode. Facebook wasn't working. There's Dennis. Dennis says, happy Friday Eve and Christmas. Whistle Kick family. Apparently he's excited. Can you tell? I can tell. I know that man enjoys his Christmas. And yeah, I was thinking about Christmas. Yesterday, I was out with some friends for dinner and then driving home and just thinking about Christmas because I was raised and still identify as Jewish, but it's really hard to be an American and not have some affinity for Christmas. Forget about the religious aspects, but it's one of the few times of the year where everybody just kind of stops. Like if you work on Christmas, regardless of your faith, people think you're nuts. And I kind of like that built-in break. And we've corrected a bit. I feel like people aren't quite going as nuts, at least the people in my circles, on giving gifts. And it seems like a nice time of year. It is a nice time of year. I don't know why I said that. It's a nice time of year. Well, I hope all of you watching will chime in. I suspect some of you are doing other stuff while you're listening to the show in the background, but chime in. Let me know who's here. That's one of the things I dislike about how this all works. I don't get to see who's here. Maybe that'll change. Maybe someday these platforms will change and I'll get to see. How was your Wednesday? Had a really good Wednesday. Andrew and I had a great meeting about All In Weekend. We talked about some of the things we're going to do, and I'll tell you what, it's going to be even better. Those of you who were there for 2022, was that 8 months ago? Not even. You know what we did. You know it was an incredible event. It's going to be better. It's going to be more. It's going to be better. There were a few things that we put together that were just like really, well, I don't want to speak for Andrew, but it seemed he was excited. I know I'm very excited about some of the things that are going on. So hopefully we get to see more of you. There are only 9 slots left. That's it. Total 9. 9 more people get to come to All In Weekend. Sign up. Don't wait. In fact, there are some things we're going to roll out that will strongly encourage you to do it sooner. So there are some bonuses that will be coming through. So don't wait. I'm just telling you right now. If you were around when we did a tournament 2016, this was a big thing that we did, like just encouraging people to get it. Signed up ahead of time because there was more reward when you did it early. Oh, interesting. So Mark saying there's no notification. Kelly, that's not quite what I meant. Kelly says, but no, I don't want platform change. I don't want to be seen yet this morning. I just meant I want to see the names of people. I only get to know who's here if you guys comment. I want a list. I want to be able to see, oh, here's who's watching. Now, maybe if I did that natively on these platforms, I could see that, but with StreamYard, I can't. Liz says she had a great Wednesday. Busy, but had great work-life balance, something I'm working on. Awesome. Congratulations. Good morning to you, Gad. Good morning, Tommy. I think I had pretty good balance yesterday. Yeah. Good work stuff. Caught up on all the financial stuff from being gone, because I didn't do the books while I was gone. It's difficult to do the books on one screen. But I'll tell you, I'm looking at what's going on financially with WSLKIC. It's pretty cool. Of course, it means it's because we're selling sparring gear, and that does help. What else? What else happened yesterday? Got to chat on the phone with a friend. Dinner was good. Came home. I watched a little bit of TV somewhere in there. Went to bed at a decent hour. A little bit later for me than normal, but wasn't too bad. And woke up, and now here we are. Dennis says that they had an excellent Superfoot Dojo session last night. I should be able to walk again by the weekend. Nice. Gad reviewed his kata yesterday, found some things to improve, and I'm pretty happy about that. That's awesome. And Liz says she's excited to attend all weekend. I cannot wait to attend round 2. Everything we do, we make it better each time. We don't make the same mistakes. We make new mistakes. New mistakes as we grow. Mistakes are where you learn. If you're not making some mistakes, you're not taking enough risk. All right. So we have a new episode. It is Thursday. There's a new episode of Martial Arts Radio. I don't even remember what it is. So I'm going to look it up, and I'm going to tell you something about it. Let's see. I did get a message from Julia saying the quality was better. I'm curious if I can see that in there. Here, that's muted. I'm just going to, so I can see. Oh, silly us with our ads. Fortunately, they're small ads. Come on, one more ad. One more ad. And done. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Oh, that does look good. So we tried something, and I'll spare you the details of what we tried. It had to do with the way it would be streamed, and the quality is better. So moving forward, look for better quality Thursday episodes in many, maybe even most cases. And what it means is Andrew and I are going to have a conversation about the thing that we did, and do we change something else? Because will it make our lives, will it make the quality better? Is it worthwhile? We will find out. Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't even tell you what the episode is. It's the 21st installment of the Q&A episode. Some of you may have caught it live because we did stream it live, but I think it came out great. I love doing these Q&A episodes. If you have questions for them, you can reach out to Andrew at any time. Andrew at WhistlekickMartialArtsRadio.com. Let him know, hey, here's a question for the next Q&A. In fact, I think we're doing one next week. I'm not 100% sure because Andrew takes care of that stuff, but I believe we are. Good morning to you, Nathan. Oh, Dennis, I appreciate the support. Dennis is quoting me here and says, everything we do, we make it better each time. And he says, #facts. We try. We do. Because isn't that the point? Isn't that the mindset that comes from our martial arts training? If we're going to do something, let's try to make it a little bit better than last time. You know, people look at the notion of getting 1% better every time you do something because it seems like it's not enough. Well, it doesn't take much math to figure out that 1% better every time actually is incredible growth. You just have to be consistent with whatever it is you're doing. The show is much better than it was when we started. Martial Arts Radio is much better than it was when we started. If you were at the first couple of years of Free Training Day and you came this year, does it even seem like the first event? The same event? It's incredible. And we're going to keep doing that with everything that we do. Like there's a Bryan Adams song trying to fall out of there. I'm not going to let it happen. I'm definitely not singing Bryan Adams to any of you. Oof. Oh, Gad says, I just made the mistake of picking up the dog leash and not noticing the cabinet between my head and the floor. It was a bloody mistake indeed. Ouch. And Tommy says that's going to leave a mark. Yeah, it sounds like it. The other thing, episode-wise, that Andrew and I have talked about doing, he said he likes the idea. And so I'm curious for all of you. We've had episodes over the years that people have joking referred to as martial arts therapy, where someone will come on and they'll have a problem that they're willing to discuss openly, and we chat it out. I would like to do a recurring show that is kind of like that. Not so much therapy, but just here's a problem I'm having. And it can be asked anonymously. I'm having a problem with my instructor doing this. I'm having a problem with one of my students doing this. I'm having a problem with a fellow student doing this. First off, I'm curious, what do you all think of that? Is that an episode that you think might be an episode format that you think might be interesting to you? And secondly, if you have some ideas for topics we could address in that format, send them over. Send them to Andrew. Or send them to me and I'll forward them to Andrew. Liz is giving me a hard time. No singing. Where was your commitment to the show? Well, I got up. I did it. That's my commitment. I showed up. That's pretty much the commitment that we get. Do you guys see the snowstorm that's coming? I mean, maybe Gad didn't because he lives in Europe, but everybody else might be in the Northeast. My phone was blowing up yesterday about a winter storm warning, and I looked at it. And, it's talking about 9 to 18, with some areas 18 to 24. It's a lot of inches of snow. I don't see us getting 24 inches of snow. My guess is 12, because they always seem to exaggerate. I never see snow on the ground, almost never, at the levels that they predict. Seems like the weather media has taken a page out of regular media and enjoys being inflammatory, making everyone scared. So they tune in. So we keep looking. Is it still going to be 2 feet of snow? Is it still going to be 2 feet of snow? You look outside and you're like, where's the 2 feet of snow? It's 3 inches. I canceled my life for this. I did. I was going to go to Maine this weekend. But everybody was freaking out. There's going to be feet of snow. Okay. Liz says, more snow. I am so happy. I'm glad. I enjoy snow pretty much through December. January, I start to, February, could do without February. And then once March hits, I'm done, which is pretty much why I try to go away, at least part of March. I will likely do that again this year. I don't know where, but I'm going to try. We'll see what happens. Tommy's ready. He's got wood, food, oil for the lamps, books, heavy bags hanging. He's good. Nice. Gad says it was -9°C or 16 degrees this morning. Too cold for me. My sinuses have been protesting quite vehemently lately. That is rather cold. Kelly says yes. And of course, schools panic and cancel. I don't know why school has to be canceled days in advance. When I was a kid, you looked outside. And if there was snow, you watched TV. And you would see all the schools that canceled school. And you'd be annoyed that yours didn't. And you'd go to school. And that was it. In fact, my school district was notorious for not canceling school, to the point where one of the local news stations made fun of us. And then that next winter, my school canceled school all the time. There were times. So for those of you who didn't grow up in a winter environment with, heavy winters, what we had growing up was, the TV stations, the news stations would just have a crawl on the bottom, much like we have here. And they would just constantly add to it. Here are the schools that we're being told are closed. And there were times if a school had a problem, if the boiler didn't work or something, if there was an issue where it wasn't safe or healthy for the kids to go to school, one of the newscasters might say, "Oh yeah, there's no school in this district today." Well, there were multiple times that the newscasters would say, "And SAD 61's closed today." We look outside, there's rain. No snow, just rain. So they overcorrected. Sometimes that happens, and you just kind of work with it. Anything else? Liz says, yeah. And now we get text alerts. I don't know if they're even put it on the TV anymore. How wonderful would that have been? I mean, I won't lie. I'm 43, and when it snows, I still get a little excited because it means, well, it doesn't mean I'm not going to go to work because work is right there. But I still remember what it was like being a kid and being excited. Oh, we have this day all to ourselves, where there's no new homework. Or if you didn't do the homework, you could do it today. You didn't have to deal with any of the annoying people at school. I generally liked school, but I didn't like a lot of the people at school. But I still feel that, 25, 30 years later. All right, now Frank did send some stuff over. I want to talk about it. Let's talk about it. Thank you, as always, to Frank for all your work on the show. Thank you to Josh for our theme song. And thank you to you-know-who for converting stuff to audio. Just a reminder, there's a podcast feed of this. You won't get it when it comes out, but if you like listening later, if you like hearing the sound of my voice, you can get another several hours of my voice per week for free. All right, where are we? Here we go. Here we go. And one more time. Here we go. Yesterday, in addition to being the birthday of O-sensei Morihei Ueshiba, yesterday was also the anniversary of the film Police Story, classic Jackie Chan movie. And today we have some trivia from IMDb. So much glass was used that the crew began calling the movie Glass Story. Because remember, this is earlier in Jackie Chan's career, one of his biggest films, and he did his own stunts and crashing through glass. I mean, what is more classic for a martial arts fight scene, throwing someone through a glass window, a plate glass window? There's breakaway glass, if you didn't know that. And that's a lot of glass. I've never gone through a glass window. I don't know that I want to. But if it was breakaway glass and, I could wear a helmet and something covering my face, I would do it. Why not? I don't want to get cut. Jackie Chan's favorite film of his own is Police Story. That's got to be tough to think about the things that you create and have favorites. Similar to, well, probably not as difficult as parents having favorite children, which my understanding, and those of you with multiple children can confirm or deny this, my understanding is that parents do have favorite children. They just don't like to admit it. Now, any of you out there with one child, you don't get to answer. That's too easy. Tommy says, Tommy is Police Story with some hearts, and he says, "Oh, I have a window story." Why am I not surprised that you have a window story? Yeah, see, Liz, I was thinking of, she says, "I have a favorite kid. You have one kid. Doesn't count." Kelly's not surprised that Tommy has a window story either. This is an interesting group of characters we bring together for this show, in case you didn't realize. But when I think about, let's say, the books that I've written, or episodes, do you have a favorite episode of Martial Arts Radio? No, I don't. There are episodes where I think I did a better job than others. There are episodes where I think the guest did a better job than others. There are ways we've handled things on a technical level or topics that we addressed that I think we did a really good job addressing it despite sensitivity, say. There are episodes where the person I talked to meant or means something to me, but none of those are favorite to me. There's a different quality to that. When I think of the books that I've written, I'm proud of them all, but for different reasons. I'm proud of Martial Artist Handbook because of how well it's been received. I'm proud of the novel I wrote because it was the first novel I ever wrote. I'm proud of How Not to Hold a Tournament because it was the first book I ever wrote. It sold like 10 copies. Set me on the path to financial freedom. Not even close. Liz wants to hear Tommy's window story, and Stacy says, I just joined in a most interesting topic. You sure did. Kelly says, sometimes I have a least favorite kid, depending on what they do. That I can understand. That makes a lot of sense to me. This thing still going? There we go. Twitch. I was watching Twitch. There we go. Okay. I suspect if I had children, it would bounce back and forth. I'm really happy with you for doing this thing and you for doing this thing. And it probably, I'm going to guess that if you have multiple children, the kid that is most often your favorite is one that is closest to you because they're handling life the way that you would and thus think they should. The kid that is less like you is probably, well, I don't know that I would say that, so I won't continue that sentence. The kid that is less like you, you probably think could be doing things better because let's face it, they're a kid, you're their parent, you're trying to raise them, you're trying to guide them, and inevitably you're going to guide them with your worldview. And if they do what you would do, then you're probably going to be happy. It's natural. Good morning, Brian. Nice to see you here, my friend. And we've got one more about Police Story. I'm curious. Let me know in the chat if you've seen Police Story. I have, but it's been a very long time. The scene where the villains crash through the bus window and fall onto the ground was an accident. They were really supposed to fall into the car, but due to the air brakes of the bus, there was a pump back, creating space between the bus and the car. Oh. I wonder if that hurt more or less. The idea of falling onto a car, it just sounds so painful. The first Jackie Chan movie I saw was Rumble in the Bronx. I saw it in the theater with a couple friends. And then we watched the next two big Jackie Chan releases on, I believe, opening day in the theaters. And one of them, there was a big snowstorm. I don't remember if it was, what were the next two? Operation Condor. I don't remember the third one. But one of them, we were the only three people in the theater. The storm was bad enough. Nobody wanted to be there. So we went, and we're about halfway through the movie and realized we're the only three in this whole theater. So we're watching the movie and we're doing the moves. Both guys did karate with me. So we're just there and we're kicking it up. And it was a pretty good memory. It is a pretty good memory. Because how often do you get to do that? How often do you get to train while watching the debut of a martial arts film in the theater? It's kind of neat. Someday when we have a movie division, we'll make that part of it. Part of the VIP experience. If you want to come, we'll pull out the chairs. There won't even be chairs. You'll have stools, and you move the stool and you can punch and kick. Good times, right? Who doesn't want to do that? Kelly says, but sometimes the kid like you is too much like you when you clash. I could see that. Gad says, Police Story 2 has one of the best baddies I've ever seen. A deaf fighter who uses remote control toys with small bombs. That's nasty. Tommy says, Rumble in the Bronx, another good one. I liked the Shanghai Nights movies. My favorite? ? That's tough. Wow. Well, that's a good thing, right? If it's easy to pick a favorite from a group of somethings, it means either one of them is much, much better, probably the others are much worse, or they're all so bad that how does one of them stand out? I like Jackie Chan's movies. There's a physical comedy to his choreography and just the way he does things that I really enjoy. And in case you didn't see, there are plans for a new Rush Hour film. Jackie Chan, Chris Tucker, which, if you did not know, if I'm remembering correctly, are considered the top 3 grossing martial arts films in the US of all time. Crouching Tiger is also on that list. I don't remember what else is on that list. It's been a few years since I looked at it. That's the kind of stuff we used to look at a lot in the beginning days of Whistlekick. Before we contributed to the culture, we looked at what the other cultural contributions were. Well, I think it's about that time. I want to say thank you to each and every one of you for coming by. Remember, we do this show every weekday at 6:30 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, soon to be on other platforms. If you want to support us, it's Patreon. And I will see some of you later today for our School Owners Mastermind. You can use the code podcast15 to save 15% on anything at whistlekick.com. And if you want the whole list, as well as some exclusive stuff you're not going to find anywhere else, it's the family page, whistlekick.com/family. If you're family, I would encourage you to check that page out. I think you'll find it worthwhile. I update it weekly. I appreciate you. I thank you for coming by. And I'll see you tomorrow for Friday. Go check out today's episode, the Q&A, and come up with some great cues to send Andrew's way. Good luck in the storm. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.